Hey, you've made it to our website. Congratulations. You probably got here without seeing an ad online or on the TV or on the radio. But instead, you probably are either very researchy or you've heard about us through a friend, or maybe one of your social media connections has been talking about our beds. Now, I thought I would do something a little bit different for you all. Instead of you trying to search through the site, having to read up on everything and trying to put all the pieces together, I decided to make this video to basically give you a complete overview of what we have to offer. Now, in all of that, please keep in mind that I'm not a salesman, I'm just a little engineer. And so all I'm going to do is present to you what we have, and then you can go ahead, sleep over it, and make up your own mind if you like it or if you just want to go somewhere else. Now, first up, I should say, or I should dispute the myth that there's a product that is a one-size-fits-all. Of course, there are products that are better, there are products that are worse, and in terms of design, in terms of materials, and all the things that are related. So first up, let me tell you a little bit about ourselves. We are a small family-owned business in New Brunswick, Canada, that is on the East Coast, in case you're not familiar with all the geography. And you may have seen the flags just above the video. There's a German flag, which is our nationality. Our family came here from Germany a few years ago. You've also seen a Swiss flag. That is because our beds were designed in Switzerland by a friend of ours. And you've also seen the Canadian flag, which means that is manufactured in Canada. So what I thought I would do here is to, in the world of Zoom calls and online shopping, give you a little bit of a tour that you would have in person if you were able to come here and take a look at our beds. But since most of you can't, since you're too far away, I thought I'll put this whole thing together in a video, and you can just sit down and relax and listen. So let me start out with ourselves. Again, I said we're from Germany. We moved here in 2007. When we moved here, we got involved with these beds through the owner and designer stopping by our house. His name is Balthasar Hüßler. He's a Swiss native. He invented this bed back in the 70s because he was diagnosed with chronic lower back pain. The doctor said, "Sorry, we cannot help you." Being dissatisfied with that answer, he went away, and after some months of thinking, came up with the solution that the bed which he sleeps on a third of his life must be the problem, because there was no other obvious issues that would have caused this sort of injury. Anyway, so he went away, designed this bed, helped himself and quite a number of people in the process ever since. The beds have been sold out of Switzerland since the 80s. And for the longest time, the wood for those beds was manufactured right here in Canada. Now, at one point, then Balthasar decided, after we had moved here from Germany, to redevelop his bed system with my dad, because he brought some different knowledge on properties of wood and different kinds of woods to the table. So they set out to do this, and it was in 2010 that we had the first prototype ready to go, which was what I had slept on ever since. And then all the way until 2015, when we basically perfected the bed to what you see it to be today. Again, just like any process, when you come up with something new, you go from something to very complicated, and you end up with something very simple at the end of the day. But to get there, it just took a long time. We still have a very tight connection with our friends from Switzerland, and there are certain advantages because of that I will get into later on. Now, I want to temper your expectations just a little bit at the beginning of this, because I'm going to tell you a whole bunch of things, and in theory this will sound all great, but you must understand that there's no product that's a one-size-fits-all. There are better products, there are worse products, depending on how they are made, how they're designed, what materials are chosen for them. At the end of the day, I want you to understand that I'm not a salesman, I'm just an engineer. My dad's not a salesman, he's just a carpenter. And so I'm here just to give you the information. You can sleep over it, and then you make up your own mind. And if you think what we have to offer is something you want to consider, just go to the Contact Us page on the website and send me an email. Now, obviously, you're here because you're looking for a new bed. So let me help you a little bit on the fundamental principles that you should consider as you consider a variety of new beds to purchase from. Now, the number one criteria that you should use to select your bed is how does it support you during your sleep? Most people will start out, oh, I want organic this, natural this, but this should not be your number one criteria. It should be the closely followed second. Number one should be, how does this bed achieve what a bed ought to achieve? That is, how does it let your body rest throughout the night so that you can start the next day fully refreshed and rested? So then the second principle to consider is the materials. Are they harmful to your body in any way, or do they allow the first principle to happen without hurting you in another way? Now, those of you who do a lot of research online, you may have come a lot of websites that talk about the benefits of sleeping on latex. And the number one reason is that latex is a very supportive material in that it is very elastic. I do have a little piece of latex here, and I'm going to show you what I mean by it's very elastic for those of you who are not familiar with that term. What it means is that, for example, if you take a memory foam and you press into it, it generally takes quite a bit of time before it returns to its original shape. Now, latex is very different, as you see here. When I compress it with my fingers and I let go of it, it takes almost no time for it to come back up. Now that means it's very elastic, meaning it always wants to get back to its original shape. So then let us go through the website together. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is once I had a person contact me, and she was a very intelligent lady just by the way she was speaking, but yet her complaint was, it seems like you need a PhD to buy anything these days because it's so hard to know where to start and what to believe. And so at least I had this idea of making this video to help you, at least run you through all the details of this website so that you can then at least evaluate what our product is and if it is for you or not. So yeah, I'm on the home page, and as mentioned previously, our beds are designed in Switzerland. We are German and we live in Canada. Put a couple of reviews here. You can read them. We also have a page for reviews that you can go through. I have a little blurb here on why you should consider us, and I mentioned that before. We're family owned. The beds are made in Canada. They're high-end beds for a reasonable price. It is designed in Switzerland. You know, we have German craftsmanship, which means we're very particular on the product itself. We do try to provide good customer service. Sometimes when we have too many orders in, it's hard to keep up with all the emails, but we'll do our best. And then, as you'll find out, we use materials that are carefully selected and can greatly benefit your sleep. I found this little quote here once that, remember, when you buy from a family-owned business, a real person does a happy dance. Okay, well then, let us go to, in the About Us section, I told us already a little bit about our story. You can read it again here on this page. Things of note here is, in this picture right here, you see Balthasar Hüssler, myself, and my son. Okay, and then I wrote up a couple of pieces here some time ago. What you need to know, this is about sleep in general. Some of the highlights are that you need to realize that you sleep about 27 years of your life, which is much more than many other things you'll be doing in your life. Also, recognize that almost all conventional beds are simply designed for the average person of average height and average weight. So if you're not average, then the bed technically isn't designed with you in mind. It is just designed to cover a range of people, but specifically the average. You can also read a little bit more here on how sleep relates to lower back pain. Okay, so then let's go and look at the actual beds that we produce here. If you go to the products, bed for the home, you'll find this site right here. And I have a picture of the bed. You will see all the components right below it. So here you have the sheep wool, you have the mattress on top of the slats, on top of latex supports, and on top of the frame. And then once we scroll down here, I talk about each component a little bit more in detail. Our frames, you'll see we provide a simple but high quality solid wood frame that will last you for generations. The core of every frame is made out of aspen wood. It is untreated, and we source that here in Canada, mainly in Quebec and Ontario. All of our bed frames are encased with a 5mm thick solid wood casing. Generally, you find a 0.3mm thick veneer on top, so that if you bump it with something, you will end up exposing the wood underneath. We go with 5mm so that in case you do hit it with something metal, which is unlikely in the bedroom to begin with, but let's just assume you do, you could technically sand out the spot and then re-wax that spot, and it will look like nothing has ever happened. Now, the encasing, as mentioned, can be aspen, soft maple, and black cherry wood. We did recently also add southern yellow pine, and sometimes people ask for other types of wood, but please bear in mind, when you ask for a special kind of wood, it does take some time to get it, and prices are generally a bit higher because we then only buy what we need, so that there is no quantity discount on when we purchase that wood. As mentioned before, wood comes mostly from Canada. Some of it comes from the New England states, the black cherry, because that's native down there. The southern yellow pine comes from North and Southern Carolina. We finish our beds with a 100% natural eco wax, our bed frames, with an eco wax, which we sourced from Germany. That wax is the kind of wax that they put on infants' wooden toys, so it's very safe. Not just for children, but whatever is safe for children is probably safe for adults too, if we can agree on that. Furthermore, the beds are made without metal. We'll get into that a little bit later on how we do this. And for the assembly, you do not need any tools to put the beds together or to take them apart. Okay, so then the second components on top of that are the latex support strips. Now, these are simply made out of a piece of wood, again, aspen wood, and then there's a piece of Talalay latex on top of that, and all of that is wrapped in organic cotton. These are part of the foundation of our system. And combining those with the slats, as you see in this picture, which rest on top of the latex slats, it makes up our slat system. That is the foundation of our bed, and really most of the benefits are derived out of that combination of latex and slats sitting on top of latex. Now, the reason is that these slats sitting on latex become movable because the latex allows the slats to move up and down. The slats are made out of aspen wood generally, and they're constructed in such a way that they're very unlikely to break. Again, we're using some carpentry tricks here to achieve that. Also, the slats are connected by a certified organic cotton rope, and there are certain reasons for that, mainly to hold them in place, but there are some other smaller reasons for that as well. So that is what we call the foundation of our mattress system, and then on top of that sits a 4-inch Talalay latex mattress. Now, that mattress we derive from the Netherlands, from a place called Talalay. And it is arguably the best latex around today. They have achieved a 97% pure latex mattress, and which I think is still unmatched in the industry. The benefits of Talalay latex are that there's no off-gassing because there are no chemicals used in them, no formaldehydes, no synthetics, and meaning it provides a safe and enjoyable environment to sleep on. Now, you may ask, oh, well, 97%, why not 100%? The reason is that when latex gets extracted from the tree, it's sort of like maple syrup. You tap the tree, the milk runs out of the tree, you collect the sap, and then you form that into a mattress. If you have a 100% natural latex mattress, you actually don't get a latex mattress, you just get a bunch of latex milk. You need something to form a shape out of that mixture. That's where those 3% come in. Now, you will not find out what those 3% are, because that is a manufacturer's secret of the guys in the Netherlands, but it is worth mentioning that their whole mixture gets tested by a place in Germany called the Eco Institute, and their testing criteria are one of the most stringent in the world. The testing criteria are for an infant's health, his respiratory system, and all that goes along. Well, some of the benefits of latex is it's an open cell structure, and which means it doesn't run hot. Also, Vita Talalay uses this pinhole design just to further enhance ventilation and also the way it reacts to a person's body laying down on it. Around that natural latex mattress is a certified organic cotton cover to protect that mattress. That one can be removed. There is a zipper on it, which is technically the only piece of metal on the bed, but it is aluminum, therefore there are no EMFs in that. But you can simply unzip that cotton cover. You can put it in the wash and put it in the dryer and put it back on. So you can clean your bed entirely. And lastly, on top of that, you have a 100% untreated virgin sheep wool topper. Again, we get that from Switzerland. It is purely a hygiene item on top of the bed. The reason is that we all sweat at night, and what generally happens is you sweat at night, the sweat runs into your mattress, it gets captured by your mattress, and over time it forms spots, it starts to smell, and so we want to avoid that. First of all, latex wouldn't take on the sweat to begin with, but your bed sheets do, the cottons do, and so we put the cotton cover, the sheep wool topper on top so that it can be the hygiene item on top of your bed. Some of the benefits are that it is a self-cleaning item, it is temperature regulating, hypoallergenic, fire resistant, and it has many other properties that make it optimal to sleep on. Now, why we sleep on Vita Talalay latex. Here's a little video that we're going to watch.
Quality of sleep is an essential part of life, and Vita Talalay is the ultimate expert. This animation shows you more about the unique properties of Vita Talalay. Vita Talalay is used in mattresses, mattress toppers and pillows, and is the most breathable, most supportive and softest comfort material in the world. The specific properties become clear when we zoom in on Vita Talalay. The open round cell structure is unique and unparalleled, and it is very resilient, providing both perfect support and incredible softness. The open structure also ensures optimal ventilation. The resulting flow of fresh air ensures a dry sleeping climate, preventing mold, bacteria and allergens from gaining hold. Moreover, the perfectly round cellular structure creates superior point elasticity and body conformation, providing the optimal support that eliminates motion transfer, so you won't be disturbed by the movements of your sleeping partner. At the same time, Vita Talalay feels amazingly elastic and soft, and it retains the same excellent quality for years. Sleep on Vita Talalay, and you can rest assured that you'll sleep comfortably. Vita Talalay, sleep on air.
Okay, so that's a little bit from the manufacturer itself. Now, as mentioned before, we produce various kinds of frames and various types of woods. In terms of the sizes, we use the regular single or twin, the double and full, the queen and the king size. We use the Eastern king size bed. And we can also build custom sizes depending on what you would like. But please be aware, it does come up with a little bit of extra cost. Now, there are some standard industry variances that apply. For example, you'll find that your bed sheets are generally ranging within ±1 inch. So the same with mattresses, that's the standard across the industry. Here's a quick picture of 3 of the 4 standard wood types that we offer. We have on the left the aspen wood, in the middle soft maple, on the right black cherry, and below in this picture we have southern yellow pine. Now please keep in mind that it is very difficult to give a good picture of what the wood looks like. The reason is that depending on the light that you're using, it may change the appearance of the wood a little bit. Also, since we're using natural wood, every piece of wood has different grains on it. So what I'm showing you here is one type of that, and there may still be variations within some of the looks depending on how many or how little grains the wood shows in a certain piece. So each piece that you buy is going to be a little bit different of a look, but within those ranges that I show here on the website. In terms of certifications, we derive most of our products from Europe and mostly through Hüsler Nest, who send their products to the Eco Institute. Also, the manufacturer itself, the Talalay manufacturer, Eco Institute certifies his latex. Also, they have its cradle-to-cradle certification, and that just means it tracks that the sap from the tree to the factory does not get changed. Our beds are made in Canada. The textiles come with an Ecotex certification, as well as there's Rainforest Alliance certification on the mattress. And what else we got? We got GOTS on the various organic cottons. Once again, we here in Canada do not recertify these various materials. We buy them from manufacturers that do certify them, because otherwise the product would simply get too expensive if we need to recertify every product 5 times along the line. Now, you may now be wondering how all these wonderfully selected materials achieve what we're promising. So let us take a listen to this video that I created some months ago. I'm often asked what is so special about our beds. It's one word, which is flexibility. Our bed adjusts to any person regardless of size, weight, or shape. As you can see here, the slat system adjusts to that person no matter what the size is. Whether you lay on your back or lay on your side, you can see how it conforms to the back of the person. And the idea is to keep the spine nice and straight from top to bottom. So whether you're sleeping on your back or on your side, the slat system will conform to your body. Now, one of these pictures here, I show the person laying on the bed without a mattress. Of course, you wouldn't do that, but you could do that if you really wanted to, and you probably still feel comfortable. Finally, another question I get from people is, how come your mattress is so thin? I often have people come in, they look at the mattress and they say, can this be comfortable? And let's listen in here. People often ask me, a 4-inch mattress, is that not a little bit too thin to sleep on? Isn't that very uncomfortable? And here's the thing. We have a 4-inch mattress with a little bit of wool on top. Then we have the slats that sit on more latex right here. So the overall thickness of our mattress system is 8-inch, just like you're used to. And this is how it works. As you put weight onto the latex, it pushes the weight onto the slats, onto more latex below it. So you really have 8 inches working together as one, even though 4 inches are called the mattress. Okay. And then our tri-slat systems are designed to work completely independent from one another. Therefore, 2 people can sleep in the same bed without disturbing one another by excessive tossing and turning or by getting up in the middle of the night. One of the really cool things about our beds is that 2 people can sleep completely independent of one another. As you can see here, I'm sitting on one slat system, moving it quite heavily, and the other person would not notice because their slat system is separate. You can see they're separated here. So whether you have a pregnant wife at home or a partner who likes to toss and turn in the middle of the night, you will not notice the other because you're completely independent of another. Then let's talk about how long our beds will last. The latex components will last around 15 years or more before they will need to be replaced. There are no chemicals that have been added into the latex to increase its life. Therefore, the natural life of latex will remain at this minimum of around 13 to 15 years. It may happen that it is more than that, as we have seen in the past, and one of the major contributors to the life of the latex is how much sunlight it gets exposed to. The more sunlight it's exposed to, the quicker it deteriorates. So just keep that in mind when you buy natural latex. Now, the wooden components are built from solid wood and will last you for generations, just like they did in the good old days. This means that after you have gone through your first latex mattress, you only have to purchase a new latex mattress and the latex support strips, and not a completely new bed. Unlike other mattresses, where you have to buy everything again, with us you only spend a fraction to maintain the high-end bed for decades to come. Because the latex will break down and is biodegradable, apart from the polymers, of course, you will significantly decrease the amount of waste that is normally associated with replacing your mattress. In terms of warranty, since we live in the age of Amazon and other big corporations that offer 100 days to 1 year money-back guarantees, it's a small business. This is simply unrealistic, so you must temper your expectations. However, we do know that a person will usually take between 1 to 7 or 10 nights to get used to this new way of sleeping. Therefore, we offer a 21-day return period, which excludes the sheep wool because that's a hygiene item, as well as the pillows. Now keep in mind that for a small business like ours, every customer is a person and not simply a number. Therefore, we'll try to our utmost to provide as good of a service to you as possible. Now, what about the disposal once the bed has been past its life cycle? Even though natural latex is biodegradable, the polymers that hold the latex in its mattress shape are not. However, this leftover materials can be given to a recycling point and used for example, underflooring or insulation, as it's been done in Europe. Therefore, our beds last longer than conventional memory foam mattresses, and they don't even leave nearly as much waste behind. Finally, here is a picture of a couple of our dogs enjoying the bed. We do from time to time get dog-loving people who want a little add-on to their bed for their animals, and we can certainly accommodate that. Let's talk about headboards and customized work. Our beds, in terms of its standard bed frame, comes as you see here on this picture. Just the frame and the complete mattress system. Pillows are extra, but there's no headboard with it. You can, if you'd like, add a headboard. We've introduced the standardized headboard options, which you can see in this first reel of pictures. You can see it's a little bit slanted. The reason we did that is so that it is more comfortable to sit in bed if you'd like to read or be on your laptop, whatever it is, just to give you a much more comfortable experience while you're being in bed. The second thing we can do is we can offer custom wood types. Like you see here, this was done in black cherry. It is a little bit more expensive, and the market for black cherry has significantly increased in terms of its price. If you're looking for custom bed frames, we have come up with a number of them with shelves, sometimes without shelves. I'm just going to run through a few here. You can see just headboard, footboard. This was done in soft maple. And then we have this one. This was done in black cherry. It's a completely different frame construction. The way these beds come about is somebody sees something online. They send me a picture and they ask, hey, can you build me something like this? And I give them a price. And if they're okay with the price, we build it for them. It does take a little bit of time. Usually a custom frame, you should think for at least a month of extra time to build it. If you add shelves like in this frame right here, it takes a little bit longer. And making shelves is quite expensive. So just keep that in mind. And lastly, we can make separately standing headboards like we've done here. It's our standard bed frame with a headboard that we send separately. A lot of the times what we propose is that the headboard stays separate from the bed, similar to what you see in hotels. And the way you do this then is we put a couple of aluminum brackets into the back of the headboard. They simply get attached to the wall so that the headboard hangs on the wall and stands on the floor, and you simply push the bed against it. The advantage with doing that is that most houses in North America, since they're built from wood, are not straight. So therefore, you can adjust the look of your headboard by putting some shims on it to make it look straight, even though your room may not be all that straight. Also, if you want to move stuff around, it's a lot easier to move a headboard and bed separately than when it is all together and connected. And here, finally, a couple of pictures of what a customer has done. You see they've used their own bed frame here. And due to the type of bed frame that it was, I proposed that we simply stand our bed frame, complete bed with frame, inside of their bed. And then he stained the legs to be roughly the same color as his bed frame so as they would not be very noticeable. So whether we put our bed system onto another bed frame or stand it inside another bed frame assembly, that's possible. The reason we can stand it inside another assembly is that our frame, as when I go back here, you will see it sits slightly under the bed. You can see here these latex support strips, they come over the front and they also hang a little bit over the side, and that is made so that if you have an assembly like we have seen in this picture right here, where you have a headboard, a footboard, and sideboards connecting those headboards and footboards, you can simply stand the bed frame inside and it doesn't interfere with that bed frame, as you can see here. So let's go to pillows. We do offer pillows with our beds. They are fairly simple pillows. You can see here in this picture, it's made up out of 3 components. There's the latex, which is in a very thin netting. Actually, by the time you see this, we may have gotten rid of that netting and it's just the pure latex. Then it is surrounded or encased by a cotton cover, and that all is encased by a sheepwool cover. All the material is the same as in the bed, so if you want to refresh your memory on that, you can go look at the details. Also, something that's noteworthy of the pillow is, you can see in this picture on the left, it is shaped to fit the shape of your neck and your head. Also, it comes in 2 slices. You will see here there's a bottom slice that is flat, and then the top slice that is shaped. That is so you can remove one slice and so lower your pillow in case you don't have very wide shoulders, and or maybe you sleep entirely on your back and you find that you don't need such a tall pillow. Here again a picture of what the shape looks like. We have come up with a solution for transport trucks, and we call it the balancer for the road. Basically, it's our bed system without the frame and slightly modified latex supports that can simply be taken and put into your semi-truck if you'd like to sleep well on the road as well. Also, the benefits of this is that when you do stop at a hotel, you can simply take this bed out and throw it onto the floor into your hotel and probably get a better night's sleep on that than you would on the hotel bed. Let's talk about some of the benefits that you could expect to have with our beds. Number 1, the Balancer This original bed system is designed to relieve and prevent lower back pain, which is caused by incorrect sleep. And that is one of the most common causes of lower back pain. Now, of course, if you had an injury, if you had a car accident, a bed may not be all that you need, although it is probably helpful. You should probably go see a chiropractor. But most of us find that back pain sort of just creeps up on us in our 30s and 40s. And it doesn't have to be that way, because it can be argued that a lot of that lower back pain is caused by simply sleeping not correctly. And as I mentioned previously, you must keep in mind that you sleep 1/3 of your life on average. Therefore, it is worth looking at what do you do for that 1/3 of life. Is it a proper 1/3 of your life, or are you in a state that is not proper for your body? Number two, Vita Talalay latex is far superior to traditional mattresses and memory foam mattresses. Again, there's a little video we can listen to and watch.
We are using this device to compare memory foam with Vita Talalay latex, using a ball to symbolize the human body. Vita Talalay latex is extremely resilient and maintains your kinetic energy. By contrast, memory foam lets it go to waste, making it more difficult to turn over in your sleep. It is very important to move freely during sleep because it relaxes the muscles, improves the blood circulation, and relieves the back. Choose Vita Talalay in your mattress and wake up refreshed. Vita Talalay.
You heard in this video that it is important to be able to toss and turn. Now, I do know that a lot of the narrative currently is that tossing and turning is not good for you and you should be sleeping calmly and quietly. Now, it is worth considering whether that is simply something that's being pushed by an industry that provides something that doesn't allow you to toss and turn, or whether that's actually the case. So please do your own research and make up your own mind about that. Now, there are no chemicals or synthetics in any of our wood components, latex mattresses, or sheep wool toppers. For our mattress, we use a 100% natural Talalay latex mattress. You can see the pinhole structure of the mattress, which is so that it can breathe better. They go all the way through. Also, it helps it to adapt to the sleeper's body and weight much more than if it was a solid piece of latex. Secondly, as you can see, as I'm pressing my hand into the mattress, it takes no time for the mattress to return to its original shape. This shows you how much support a latex mattress has in comparison to a memory foam. Also, the mattress is all natural, meaning there's no off-gassing. The mattress is antibacterial. You will not find any bacteria or bed bugs or anything in here because they can't live in here. And lastly, as you can see, our mattress has two distinct sides to it. It's a medium firm and a firm side, and one can just flip it over the other way to either sleep firm or medium firm. This video I've showed earlier, it's simply that we have two separate slat systems, and that helps to improve your sleep if there's two people sleeping in your bed because one doesn't interfere with the other. The sheep wool topper is self-cleaning, anti-allergenic, and eliminates need for flame retardants. Now, in the Western world, people are very particular about wearing clean clothes every day. Yet many of us have not considered that hygiene should not discontinue when it comes to the bedroom. Now, these 100% untreated virgin sheep wool topper from Switzerland are guaranteed to help improve your sleep by literally cleaning the place where you sleep every day. That means gone are the days when your mattresses accumulate sweat stains. Our wool toppers guarantee a clean sleeping service every night as long as you don't ruin it, and I will get into how you should wash this thing later on so that you won't ruin it and keep these benefits for the remainder of its life. We also provide a 100% natural sheep wool topper with our mattress. You can see here it is stitched inside of cotton again, organic cotton. And the nice thing about sheep wool is that it can hold up to 3 times of its own weight in moisture. So when you sweat at night or you spill something onto your bed, it catches it, and then it has a mechanism inside so that it cleans itself out throughout the day, so that the next night when you go back to bed, you're sleeping on a clean bed. And if for whatever reason something was to ever go through your sheep wool, it would go onto your cotton cover. Again, you would wash it. And if for whatever reason you spill a lot of liquid onto the mattress, it would simply go through and fall to the floor. Sixth, our mattresses have 2 different sides to it, one being softer and the other one being firmer. That means you simply need to flip over the mattress to get a different firmness. Our Talalay latex mattresses do not sag nearly as much as any other mattresses. Over time, you'll find very little sagging in the mattress. Vita Talalay mostly deteriorates by being exposed to UV light. and that causes the mattress material to crumble. It, in a sense, dries up, and you'll see a latex dust on top of it. I'll show that in a video later, what that looks like. Our 100% natural cotton cover is washable. As I mentioned, you can simply take it off and put it into the washing machine. There's no need to buy a mattress protector for our mattress at all. We use no metal coils or any other metal components in our beds, apart from what I mentioned, the zipper on the cotton cover, which is made from aluminum. So therefore, there's no EMF amplification throughout our bed. 10th, the combination of latex and 100% untreated sheep wool is something to be thought about. It provides a warm and dry bed in the winter and a cool and dry bed in the summer. Both components are highly breathable, so you never have to run hot during your sleep. I realize this, as a man myself, is a concern mostly for men about sleeping hot, but as we have sold more beds, I came across a lot of women in their 50s that had concerns about sleeping hot, and so far they have mostly been happy. I have not had negative feedback from any of them, so it does hold up to real tests. Here's a little video on the breathability of latex.
Which comfort material ensures the best ventilating mattresses, toppers, and pillows? We put it to the test. On the left, you can see how the foam blocks are moving around freely, while the ones on the right do not move at all. Talalay is the only material that ensures effective moisture and heat regulation, helping you sleep better, healthier, and more hygienically. Find out more at Talalay.com.
Number 12, all wood components are untreated solid North American wood. Number 13, our bed system is easy to set up and no tools are required. I will show how that works later on. 14, our beds are easy to move. You'll see here in this picture, it's a little Ford Focus, and we have fit a full king-size bed in there. If you're able to come in person to pick up the beds, or even if you need to move our beds, if you've bought one and you move somewhere else, you'll find that it's very easy to take all the components back into its pieces and store them easily in your car or in a moving truck, whatever you use. So if you have a car that's bigger than a smart car or a Fiat, maybe, you should be able to fit a full king-size bed into that car, at least drive the car by yourself and not distract your field of vision in your vehicle. Personally, I have had in the past a mid-sized sedan, and I was able to fit a king-size bed and double bed into that vehicle and drive comfortably. And number 15, our standard bed height is 52 centimeters, which works out to be roughly 20.5 inches. We chose that height because it is the standard height for a kitchen chair. That is based on ergonomic principles. The average person is, as I mentioned earlier, an average height. Therefore, we make this bed height for the average person. You can request to have it higher or lower if you'd like, but if you go higher, it comes with a little bit of additional cost. Let's get into some of the details and start with the latex mattress. Let's first watch this little video by Talalay.
Mother Nature gives us life. She nurtures and protects us. Mother Nature provides Talalay with the raw material, pure natural latex. Talalay transforms this gift into a luxurious comfort material for use inside pillows, mattresses, and toppers that feel deliciously soft yet still provide support. It goes without saying that we do this with the greatest respect for humanity, animals, and the environment. We believe that this is the most natural thing in the world. Mother Nature provides us with the healthiest nutrition. She urges us to stay in good condition and be aware of our mental health. But she also provides us with the healthiest way of sleeping with Vita Talalay inside. That's how we take care of you. Vita Talalay.
Right. Then here I have a little bit of writing on natural versus synthetic latex. Synthetic latex basically makes up most of the market today. It is man-made, what most people know to be latex. Synthetic latex behaves similar to organic latex, but has a lot of shortcomings. It is less firm, has a significantly shorter lifespan, and most of us know it for its off-gassing of chemicals, which can trigger allergic reactions. Natural latex, on the other hand, has a strong and homogeneous cell structure and smells very pleasant. The sap is derived from rubber trees that grow within 10 degrees or roughly 200 kilometers of the equator. The sap is collected by tapping, that is, making an incision under the bark of the tree and collecting the fluid that runs out. This looks very similar to the tapping of a maple tree for its syrup. As it is with the maple trees, so the cut on the rubber tree heals in a fairly short amount of time and the sap stops flowing. Then the harvester makes a new incision to continue to harvest sap. This cycle is repeated for around 180 days per year. Rubber trees yield sap for approximately 30 years before the trees are harvested and new ones are planted. Once harvested, the sap is transported to the manufacturing plants and gets refined in one of two ways to manufacture a natural organic latex mattress. And the two ways are either a Talalay latex process or a Dunlop latex process. And once again, we'll watch a short video here by the manufacturer of Vita Talalay on that. And finally, here is a quick video on the differences between Dunlop and Talalay latex. There is a debate among the two in the industry, and I encourage you to read up on it and make up your own mind on it.
Welcome to the contest between Vita Talalay and Dunlop. On the left, we see a pounding machine containing Vita Talalay. On the right, the device holds Dunlop. During this durability test, the machine repeatedly pounds the material with a weight. 80,000 beats simulate the impact of a body weight over a 10-year period of use. Together with a comparative compression set test, the test results show that Vita Talalay performs better than Dunlop. Vita Talalay shows 40% less height loss and over 50% less firmness loss over time. Based on these tests, Vita Talalay is clearly the winner. Vita Talalay. Sleep healthy.
And finally, just a couple of more things about natural Talalay latex that we get from Vita Talalay. It is very breathable, offers unparalleled support, it minimizes pressure points, it doesn't transfer motion, unlike traditional mattresses. It has a much higher lifespan than conventional mattresses. It's antifungal and antibacterial, dust mite resistant, hypoallergenic, and there is no toxic off-gassing. Next, let's talk about the sheep wool. Now, we use 100% untreated virgin sheep's wool that comes from Switzerland, and I say real organic sheep wool. And the reason I say real organic sheep wool is that it is completely untreated. And I have shown this video before, so I'm not going to show this again. And there's a lot of information on here that you can read up on sheep wool. I'm just going to summarize it. The wool that we get comes from sheep that are still alive. That's very important because that means the wool is still alive too. Because sheep wool on a sheep has natural properties, including the self-cleaning mechanism, that will die once the sheep dies. So if you get the wool from a sheep that is alive, that wool stays alive. Now, there are other ways you can ruin that wool. By, for example, what's mostly done in the industry, that all sheep wool, not all, but most sheep wool, is being undergone a mite and moth treatments to get rid of these things. Now, sheep wool is all of these things already naturally. So the question remains, why are these treatments being done? Furthermore, this self-cleaning property then is still alive in that sheep wool that we offer. Sheep wool again is strong and durable. It is hypoallergenic, bacteriostatic. It is fire resistant and actually self-extinguishing. It is anti-static, which is nice in the wintertime. And finally, it should be mentioned that some mattress companies will advertise the use of sheep wool, but the wool is actually put inside the mattress. Now, the problem is that sheep wool needs to be able to breathe in order to continue having its properties. So if you put it inside of something, it will just die off, and most of its properties will go to waste and be lost. Let me tell you a little bit about the sheep wool. So you can see here, this is a sheep wool cover. This is for the pillows. It's the same kind that we have on the beds. And let me tell you a few things about wool that you may not read in many places. So one thing to know about sheep wool is that sheep wool that is on the sheep is naturally self-cleaning. So the way the sheep keeps its wool clean is there's a mechanism within the wool that allows it to capture dirt and smell particles. And then as the air moves through that wool, it releases that again. So you can think of this like the following. If my four fingers here represent the cells within the sheep wool, you have dirt particles enter in from above, they get captured within the wool, then the wind comes, blows through it, and releases all of these particles back into the atmosphere. Now, what I tell our customers is you cannot wash our sheep wool in the washing machine or with any soap or with any hot water, indeed. The reason is that this property that the wool has is still active in our wool, which means it cleans itself. So as you sleep on the bed and you sweat and, the sheep wool captures all those sweat particles, or maybe you spilled something, or maybe you have a child that pees the bed and it's not just fluid now, you have also smell in there. What the sheep wool does is it captures all of that. In fact, sheep wool captures about 3 times its weight in water, which means it'll capture all of your sweat. And, if the child pees, it may not capture it all, but it'll capture most of it. What it does then is that throughout the day, it will clean itself out, and it will be just like brand new the next night. Now, the way you would clean this sheep wool is in only one way, really. What I recommend is that once or twice a year, you take the sheep wool cover off your bed or off your pillow, and you take it outside into your backyard if you have. If you don't have it, just take it into your tub. You soak it in cold water until it's completely dripping, drenched with water. And then you hang it up to let it dry in the sun. In essence, what you're doing is what the sheep is doing out in the field. It stands there, it takes on all the dirt, then it waits for the rain, it gets rained on, and then the sun comes and bleaches it back out again. So this is the exact same thing that happens with our wool as well. So if you were to use a soap, it would kill that property of the wool. If you were to put it in the washing machine, it would kill that property of the wool. If you put it into the dryer, it kills it as well. So it's very important that you do not wash our sheep wool with anything but just drenching it in cold water. Now also, I have a lot of people asking me about sheep wool allergies. Now, it is true, there are some people who are really allergic to sheep wool. But I find, at least in our experience and the experience that we have from our friends from Switzerland, it's the minority of people that have an actual sheep wool allergy. Most people are merely allergic to the trace chemicals of the treatments that the sheep wool undergoes usually, that is, the anti-mite, anti-moth treatments. Next, we look at our bed and the fact that there are no metal components in our bed. To some of you, that may not mean a whole lot, and if that is so, I encourage you to research it and see if that is something that you should put emphasis on or not. But the important point to note is that because there are no metals in our beds, as mentioned previously, there's a aluminum zipper on the carton cover, which again, those people who are interested will probably know that aluminum is EMF neutral. So EMF, electromagnetic fields, is something that is exerted by electronic devices and then gets caught on every piece of metal, and that piece may amplify it, or that may just catch it and put it out at the same frequency. For example, TVs, cell phones, cell phone towers, every device. And if you can plug it in, and if it has an engine in it, it will generate a new field. Now, in these couple of pictures, you can see here some research that was done. It shows one picture where a mattress does not have any metal in your bed, and you can see the natural geomagnetic field is even throughout the entire surface. The second picture here shows a bed that has metal, and you can see that the geomagnetic field is disturbed right at the center of it, and the reason is that if you have a piece of metal, the electromagnetic field, you can think of it as a ball, imaginary ball around that piece. And so in the middle is where all these fields converge, and therefore it has the strongest effect. In our bed system, the way we can go without metal is because we have come up with a different way of connecting the pieces. Instead of using nuts and bolts, we use fiberglass reinforced plastic connectors. And here's a quick video on how to put that together. Some of you came to our website because you were looking for a metal-free bed. Now the question is, how can we achieve a bed frame without using nuts and bolts? And how can we have a mattress system without the usual metal in them? Now, in terms of the bed frame, it's pretty easy. What we invented here is a fiberglass reinforced plastic connector. You can see it's two-part. It simply slides in and clicks down. Now, to see that in action, I'll show you that on a sample bed frame here. So I have, as a sample, you have the leg piece and you have the cross braces. And you can see they simply slide in like so, and then you hit them down and it's connected. Now, that doesn't just mean we have no metal in our bed, but it also means you need no tools to assemble them or to disassemble, as you can simply unconnect them the opposite way you put them together. And then the second part is that you don't need a box spring with our bed frame and our mattress. The reason is that our mattress system takes care of the base within the mattress. So, for example, your traditional bed, you would have your bed frame, you would put your box spring on top of the bed frame, and then you add your mattress on top. Our bed is a little bit different in that we have the bed frame, and then we only have the mattress system, and the mattress system includes the foundation, which is generally your box spring, and it includes the mattress. Now, our mattress, as you have seen earlier, is made out of 4 components: the latex supports, the slats, the 4-inch Talalay latex mattress, and the sheep wool topper. The first 2 components, the latex supports and the slats, replace the traditional box spring, therefore eliminating the need for metal that usually comes within your box spring. And then I also want to give you some tips on how you can remove EMF in your bedroom and from your sleep. You can remove all electronics from your bedroom. It is good not to have a TV in the bedroom, not just for relational reasons, but also for sleep reasons. You can turn off your Wi-Fi overnight. Do not place your bed under a window or close to the door, because there is something about the natural geomagnetic field that happens there. Avoid having big mirrors in your bedroom. Avoid having your bedroom above the garage or above a parked vehicle. Don't have your bedroom above the boiler or heater room. Avoid having your bedroom above major electric circuitry. Check for underground water. You can use this process called dowsing to do that. Or in short, just try to eliminate all EMFs from your bedroom. If you would like, you can read some of the testimonials. We collect them by email mostly, or when people post on Facebook or Google about us, and you can read all about them here. We haven't updated them in a while because I'm just too busy building beds, but from time to time we put new ones in here. Furthermore, on the FAQ side, something that's worth pointing out, a question I get quite a lot is why is your latex not organic? And here I'm giving the excerpt from the Vida Talalay website. As you can see here, you can follow the link. And here's the explanation. Food can be fully organic, but with latex mattresses, that does not make sense. Harvested organic latex always need an addition of some inorganic materials to process it into a latex mattress, topper, or pillow. Organic certifications do some traceability of the latex itself, but do not trace whether the added inorganic materials, and yes, every latex mattress has added inorganic materials, which are needed to get from liquid to a solid material, are safe. All Vida Talalay is Oecotex 100 Class 1. With natural Vida Talalay, we have even 2 more certifications that test the end product to be safe. On top of Cradle to Cradle, chemists have analyzed not only the latex but also the inorganic additives. It shows that the latex and the additives contain 0 harmful materials for the health of humans and the environment. And Cradle to Cradle, what that means is the latex is being traced from the tree to the factory, which is not included in the organic certification. And when they're talking about inorganic additives being analyzed, that is when they send this to the Eco Institute in Germany, and they have one of the most stringent testing requirements for healthy natural materials. We have now come to the end of this little presentation, and you may now be wondering, how can I get in contact with us? How can I purchase? How can I see a bed if it's local to me? Now, if you want to see a bed, there are a few locations around the country in Canada that you can see them. Number 1, of course, here in New Brunswick at our manufacturing facility. Secondly, we have 2 partner companies working with us out west in British Columbia in Canada here. First one is on Victoria Island, a store called Triangle Healing Products. And second one is near Vancouver, a company called the Green Bed Store. Now, if you have found us through either one of these companies, and if you have gone to them and tried our bed there, I would encourage you that you do go to them and purchase the bed from them. The reason is that they have put in a lot of work already, not just talking to you, but also they have overhead costs where they pay for or have to account for the bed being in their store, and so on and so forth. Therefore, I would encourage you to go and purchase directly from them instead of contacting us here. So if you're interested in pursuing our beds further, please type in your contact information into the contact fields below. Please include your location, as it helps me to send you an accurate price list for your area that includes shipping costs as well. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to email or call us to ask those, and we'll be happy to respond as best as we can. Now, as a side note, there is a section here called the FAQ, and I just want to go through some of the most frequently asked questions with you. Number 1 is, when you look at the price list, you will see that the double or full size, if you're in the US, in Canada we call it double. This bed, we have 2 sections on it, a double with 1 slat element and a double with 2 slat elements. The difference is the following. Some people will use a double to sleep by themselves on the bed, the majority of the time. For those, we suggest that you would buy a double with 1 slat element on it. If, on the other hand, there's 2 of you sleeping in the bed the majority of the time, we recommend that you buy a bed with 2 slat elements. The reason is that each slat element will react to 1 person. So if you have 2 people laying on the same slat system, the heavier person wins. The lighter person gets sort of molded into the shape that the heavier person is. Therefore, it is important that two people on one bed have two separate slat systems so that each get their own comfort in their own adjustable system. Now, all of our queen and king beds do come with two slat systems because we assume that either you do not sleep smack in the middle because the bed is wide enough, or that there's two people sleeping in the bed anyways. Another question that I'm frequently asked is the following: can I use my own bed frame with your mattress system? And the answer is probably yes. There are some exceptions where our mattress system does not fit into that frame. But for the majority of them, it does. And all I would ask you to do is, after you have emailed me, reply back with a picture of your bed frame, one picture, the bed frame as a whole, and please another picture of what your bed frame looks like under the mattress. The thing that we're looking for is, what does the support look like under it, whether it is sufficient or whether we need to add anything else to it. Another option, of course, is then also to use our bed frame and simply stand inside of your bed. Depending on your bed frame, that may be a good solution. A lot of people also ask us about our return policy. Now, we're not a big business like some companies you might find out there that offer 100 or even longer return periods. We simply cannot afford to do that, but we can afford to give you a 21-day return period. And if you cannot come to terms with our bed, then we're happy to pay for return shipping. The only items that are non-refundable are the sheep wool, topper, and the pillows. And I have summarized this all on page 3 of the PDF price list. The reason we offer 21 days is that by experience we find most people will take between 1 to 7 nights to get used to our beds. Some people will never get used to it, and that percentage ranges around 2 to 4%. And we're happy for those people to send the bed back and we pay for the return shipping, as we are happier with you not having our bed than to be grumpy with it. At the end of the day, it hurts only both of us if you have something that you really dislike. Furthermore, people ask if they can put our mattress system into their campers. That is possible. And all we need again is a couple of pictures, and we'll probably need you to take some measurements so that we can evaluate how that would look like and what it would cost. But as a reference point, you can assume to take the price list, take the lower of the 3 costs, that is, let's say you have a camper that roughly fits a queen size bed, go to the price list, take the queen size bed with an aspen frame, and that will roughly be your price point for a custom-made bed into your camper. And finally, how long does it take to get one of our beds once they have been ordered? We build all of our beds after they have been ordered. We keep very little stock because we simply don't have time, because the orders that are coming in are getting more and more. Now, please assume that it will take between 2 to 4 weeks for us to build your bed. If it is a custom bed, it may be longer. And also, we cannot take on too many custom orders at one time, so if we have too many, we may have to push you down a month or so. But let's just assume you're ordering a standard bed frame with bed and mattress. Please assume 2 to 4 weeks plus shipping. Shipping times generally range between 3 and 10 business days. If you're close by, you're close to 3 business days. If you're all the way out in California, it may be as much as 10 business days. Another question I frequently get from parents is whether the slats will withstand their children bouncing around on the beds. Now, I have very little concern about that, and it will probably last even if you as an adult bounce around on the bed. The slats are made in such a way to be extremely strong, and we use some carpentry tricks to achieve that.